everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, Refocused to a degree. And we are going to talk about maybe later some news. Mostly, we're refocused and going to talk about um, uh, certain movies that we think,
But
certain
games,
games
yeah.
that we think could be made into pretty good movies, and how we would do it if we were put in charge of it. Do you want to go first, Dolphin, or do you want me to pick the first one?
You can pick the first one.
Okay, let me think. What would be the first one? Um, uh, I guess it's the only one I can think of at the heat of the moment. You want to either Knights of the Old Republic or KOTOR? Which do you want to talk about first?
I believe KOTOR would work.
Yeah, we know for a fact, or maybe not a fact, but I'm pretty certain Disney's planning to work on a KOTOR movie trilogy. That'll be interesting.
Seeing how they've handled the sequel trilogy so far, though, I wouldn't really have much faith
Or
in them.
we're not talking about that right now. Right now, we're talking about how we would do it, and
Hmm.
it's gonna be really
Yeah.
controversial. But
And
like,
considering we
out of
actually
these
have source filmmaker, we probably could do it.
now, this may or may not be controversial. Sorry if I sound a little bit weird. My allergies are hitting me super hard today, audience. So that's why I'm having a cough drop right now. But anyway, I don't know if this is super controversial or not, but I'll find out in a minute. But I would make the main character talk. I wouldn't have him be a mute and whatnot. I think that's something you have to establish right away,
Hmm.
because for a role playing game, it works to have a mute character. But like if you're having a movie and whatnot, then I think you're gonna have to give them a defined personality and a voice.
Hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Yep. And would Revan be either light or dark side?
Well, I think I would make him kind of grayish, but ultimately side with the light. Um, uh, because to me that I think sort of makes a more compelling, I think, storyline in my
Hmm.
opinion. Um, uh, One thing I want to talk about first of all is length, and how many I guess just for the first game. Let's focus on the first game. Let's not worry about the second game, at least not yet. Should it be a trilogy, like multiple trilogies? What do you think? I think it should at least be a trilogy. They want to tell most of the story and tell it well.
Hmm. So there's an
Um,
epic trilogy focused on KOTOR. Okay.
but the thing is, they're definitely like Avizi's wondering about the trilogy, because either way, I know we're gonna have to cut stuff
Hmm.
and maybe add some things to make it more dramatic or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the exact ideas, but like some general ideas I have right now is like cut out certain things that may make it a little video gamey or whatnot, like going through just the desert. Like I would expand on Tatooine a bit story wise, because like Tatooine, I love it in the game, but like if you're making a movie, you're gonna have to expand on it because it's just most of it's walking through the desert
Hmm.
and whatnot. I would like to ideally keep some of the Sand People stuff in because I think it's interesting, but I don't know
Hmm.
how I would fit it in. We may be forced to cut it due to
Hmm.
story and whatnot, but like, um, uh, and like I might make it so like by the end of the first movie, by the end of the first movie, I may make it so the entire party's together, like a bridge certain things together to make it so like right off the bat we have the whole party. Or I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe it might be good to save a character for the second or third film. What do you think?
I think it'd be good. I guess would you
To my
change so
like
far?
you
Though
think
I'm wondering if we would change Revan's canon ending.
like what I'm asking. Well, before that,
Yeah.
I want to ask, like what do you think is good to make it by the end of the first movie, have the entire cast together, or save one or two for the second movie?
I'd say have the cast together by the end of the first movie.
Yeah, maybe. Um, uh, I mean, whether or not we change his canon ending, I mean, I think that's entirely up to you. Do you want to do the sequels or not? Because, like, we could do an ending where he, like, goes out with a blaze of glory or something happens or whatnot. But, like, then
Mm-hmm.
that would kind of screw up the, KOTOR 2 and anything else possibly in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I
Well, I
guess
have
it
to
depends.
wonder because in canon, Revan really doesn't get the happiest ending.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'll change it. One thing's for certain, like, well, like, what are some things you definitely think you would like to cut if you were making a movie? I'm talking about for a movie. Like, the game as is great and wonderful. I'm just saying we're talking about how we would adapt it to a movie.
Well, honestly, I don't know KOTOR as well as you do, so I really can't say.
I mean, I don't know. I guess just it's like kind of hard because it's like if you just talk about problem with KOTOR as a video game, if you just want to adapt the main story points, then it's kind of a shitty story pacing wise because most of the important stuff, like the big story moments and whatnot, like KOTOR as is doesn't form a cohesive movie, quote unquote. It's a cohesive game and whatnot, but it's like there's a lot of side quests. Like a lot of the magic of the game is that like you can really explore the worlds, things fill out by talking to people and whatnot and other shit. So like I don't know if that sort of stuff would really work in like a movie. I would almost want maybe even a piece of me would almost want like a KOTOR TV show. That might be
Mm-hmm.
better, but like say we're doing a movie, then it's like
A TV show could actually work.
because it's like if we're doing a movie and we're like cutting out all the video gamey parts where it's like we have to go into the sewers to rescue mission and then this and then the hidden back base and then this stuff, blah blah blah. Like the game is great, but there are some moments in it where it's like they're kind of padding a bit to make it a game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was a constant movie where it's like scene by scene by scene, everything important was happening, then it wouldn't be a very good game. And like we just streamline it to just the important stuff that happens and the pacing's shit because what happens is okay, we're on the Endar Spire, we're on Terrace, okay, now we're going to mission, we're going to this. It's like it would be a very fast paced, not good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know.
This the
like I
first
don't know.
episode where we're doing this is going to be awkward at first. I mean, it's almost an entirely different kind of podcast we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I might just forego going through a movie way and just do a TV show adaptation. That
Yeah,
might just
we
be
could do
better.
separate episodes of it.
Like
'Cause,
maybe
yeah, at a
like
certain point we're going to be trying to make an actual movie or TV show of one of these games.
like if I was a TV show, I think I'd be able to plan it a lot better. Like season one finale would be the end of Terrace and whatnot, and then like after that well I'm not sure after that. Well, season one would definitely be I think the destruction of Terrace and going to Dantooine. After that, then maybe each planet would be a season. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Whatever, and let's hope Disney doesn't screw it up again in the meantime.
Hopefully not.
Mm. Though, thankfully at the moment they seem to be focused on live action remakes. I mean, they're crap,
I
but
know.
at least they're making money.
Everything Disney does makes money. Oh, I guess well, one of the live action remakes didn't make money. Dumbo absolutely bombed at the box office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shit. Anyway, do you want to do Shadow of the Colossus?
Alright.
How would you do shit? Well, as I just realized, I never heard how you would do a KOTOR movie, or do you not want to talk about that? I want to just go into Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus would be better.
Okay, so how do you? I want to ask you first, since you're more familiar than me. How would you do a Shadow of the Colossus movie? And I'll say
Mm.
how I would do it.
I think first we open how the original game opens. And in between battles, we can have flashbacks to the protagonist's past. Really flesh out who he is, where he came from, why he's actually so obsessed with saving this one girl's life.
Maybe.
And the actual cursed fate that she had, which is never really explained in-game. And the boss fights themselves, of course, can be the same epic scale they were.
My sort of idea is, I guess, I don't know, I sort of have this idea of almost like, almost like a TV show again, but no, I'm sticking with movie. I'll say movie, like, we'll throw TV in as another adaptation we can do later on, but like right now we're doing movies. For a movie, like, I don't know, I almost like, may lower the Shadow of the Colossus count into maybe a certain number.
Yeah,
and, like,
no.
Why not?
The fans would never, ever stand for that.
Well, like, what works, well, sorry to the fans.
Do you not know the Shadow of the Colossus fan base? It's huge, dude.
I know, but like my point is, like, what works in a video game isn't always gonna work in a movie. So, like, I'm saying what I would do is I would, like,
yeah, but the movie would bomb instantly if there was even one Colossus missing.
Like, listen, hear me out. Like, I lower the amount of Colossuses, but each, like, 5 or 8, but each one is like a massive, really well done battle, whether it be CGI or practical or whatnot. And and each one is, each one is sort of a unique battle scene where it's like not just like it's like the games where it's like Wanderer has to figure out how to do certain things and whatnot. And and maybe like you can show like Wanderer becoming more and more ruthless about it, and more the movie goes on. At least that's my idea, but I'm guessing you hate that idea.
Well, not necessarily more ruthless, but more desperate, more determined to keep going on.
Yeah.
But rather than make it more ruthless, just make it more like the Undertale genocide route. It's like, maybe. I am not having fun, but I must stay determined. I must keep going. And it shows on his body as it's getting less and less human.
Yeah. I guess, like, I was sort of thinking that too. Like, I was thinking maybe at first he'd be, like, sort of reluctantly doing it, but the more and more he goes on, more and more he's just like, whatever, I have to do this. Because now that I think about it, again, Shadow of the Colossus might make a better TV show than a movie. Because you could use all 16 Colossi. And, like, every other episode, if we want to stick with the flashback stuff, because, like, we're gonna do flashback stuff, like, we're gonna, like, I don't think the fan base would be happy with that, but if we're gonna do flashback stuff, it can't be, like, the proposed movie script flashbacks. For those of you who don't know, there actually was a proposed movie script for Shadow of the Colossus.
I do know.
I know, I'm telling people who don't know at home.
Yeah, and it's garbage.
Yeah, like, there was a proposed script for a Shadow of the Colossus movie that, back in, like, 2011, 2012, that ended up not getting made, but was eventually leaked. And, ooh boy, is it bad. There's a lot of flashback scenes, and the flashback scenes are pretty awful. They turn Wanderer into a quippy former slave person. They make Lord Eamon Mono's father and have Mono die because Lord Eamon got incredibly drunk and was just like, yeah, I hate you, woman, and like pushed her against a fucking wall, and that's how she fucking dies. I'm sorry, I know it's awful, but it's just so hackney, I just can't help but laugh. It's pretty bad. So, but like, if you were gonna do flashback scenes, what sort of flashback scenes would you do?
Well, flashback scenes into his past, and also Mono's past, since we get nothing from her in the game.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, she is the character with the most potential. She spends most of the game on her back, doing nothing.
Like, I think to a degree, like, not to sound pretentious, but that's kind of the point of Shadow Colossus is it doesn't give you direct answers, and it's more of about the emotions and the general idea of the scenario. Like,
Yeah, it works for a game, not so much for a book or a movie.
yeah, like
I mean, it's
I
the same
remember
way
you.
that the book of Eco actually tried to
Yeah,
add more depth to who the characters were. It
and
did a
it was
good job,
bad.
I think. Hmm?
Did you say did a good job or do a bad
It
job?
did a good job.
Okay. Um, uh, like the thing is though, what the thing that sucks about it is if we're gonna do flashbacks, we're gonna have to commit to some things because there's definitely one thing I do like about Shadow Colossus is there was a lot of interesting fan theories about what happened before the game started, and none of them necessarily untrue. Like one interesting fan theory that I don't agree with, but I think is kind of interesting, is the idea that Wanderer was actually Mono's murderer, but like he ended up feeling guilty or whatnot. And like I don't know, like my point is why is she murdered? If we're doing a movie, like what should we say the reason she got murdered?
Well, at the moment, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the background is for each character.
For me, I think we should explain some things and leave other things a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Because um uh because explaining some things I think are alright, but I think the mystery of some things is also important. Like a lot of people like say what was the name of the black monster creature again? I forget his name. Dorman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was Dorman. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people say he's evil or he betrayed a wanderer, but like at the very beginning of the game he said that like this is gonna end poorly for you, and whatnot, and it did, and he did promise that he would bring her back, and he did, so he kept to his promise, and the only reason we
Yeah,
know that
did
he's
he
really
though?
what?
Yeah, did he truly keep his promise though, or did he bring her
Yeah.
back to be the vessel of the queen from Eco?
Well,
I mean,
like
that's
that
the
we don't know.
mystery.
That's never explained. That's never said in game or whatnot. All he said was she suffered a cursed fate, and I want to bring her back. And he says, "Okay, I'll bring her back if you do this and whatnot." And he does. He brings her back. Anything else is like assumption on our point. And like a lot of people, you can make the argument that but he looks evil or whatnot, and he's clearly hated by the priest guys at the end. But like if we use that logic, then obviously the Colossus are evil because they look scary, they look evil, but they're not. In fact, most of them they don't, or at least we don't think they are. Because most of them they don't even attack us. And for all we know, the priest guys could be evil. They could be like, for all we know, Dorman could be a great guy who they only want to keep sealed because they're selfish and whatnot.
There's a lot of ways we could go with it.
So again, I don't know. I guess what I'm thinking is for the backstory is we can show Mona and Wanderer forming a relationship, getting along, maybe even include some of the other priests in it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And the final flashback will be show that she was sacrificed as part of some ritual or something. And we don't explain whether Dorman's good or evil or whatnot, or what he even wants.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that idea?
It could work well. Like all things, it's how you execute it.
True. In terms of directors or actors, I have no idea who I'd personally pick. I'd have to
Well, in
really
terms of voice
think.
actors, who would we pick? In all likelihood, if we actually were to make a movie like that, it would be in source filmmaker.
Yes, well, voice actors if we're gonna seriously make it, then I'd have to really think about it. But if we're ideally I could get anyone, I could make an animated movie, I could make live action movie, whatever. I'd have to really think about pour over a number of actors and really look at them and really think it over, and maybe even like have them audition and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I mean, for right now, I just want to get the general idea down before we actually choose something to make.
My general idea is that
And let's get the format of this podcast down as well. That's what we're doing this first episode for.
Yeah. Here's what I would do. It would be a TV show, definitely, and one episode. And like there would be, let me see, 10, 20, 26, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 32 episodes in total. 16 will be about fighting the Colossi. 16 will be flashbacks and whatnot. Or maybe 33 to make it the final. Maybe 33 episodes actually. And like each one will circulate. One episode will be, first episode will be the first Colossus, and the next one will be the flashback, and it'll be in order. So like by the end of the journey, you understand everything. Well, not before that.
Mm-hmm.
How did that sound?
Sounds good.
So,
I guess the last thing we could definitely make a movie of when it's finally finished is Dawn of the Future.
yeah, that could be something they should make a
Just
movie
the
out
book's
of,
already been made. It's just slowly being translated.
Or another thing that it could be almost like an anthology film, sort of, or like because like would it be sort of like an anthology film because technically these three stories left are kind of disconnected from each other.
Disconnected, but they all tie into each other, right? You could say.
Yeah. If you want, you know what? I have a great idea. It could be a movie, but like each one will each separate part of it will be a chapter or something. Like you do, I don't know, chapter 1, Luna Freya, or chapter 2, this or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I know, not the best names ever, I know, but like I don't know. I know chapter 3 or the final chapter would be Dawn of the Future, or I don't know, something nice.
Well, I believe it's chapter 4 with Noctis where everything really comes to a head.
So would Arden be part of like the pseudo anthology, sort of?
Well, of course he would. Why wouldn't he? I mean,
Okay,
Arden's part of Dawn to the Future.
Well, I wasn't sure if you wanted to also adapt that.
Well, yeah, and for those who played it DLC, arguably not even the real villain of the series.
Yeah. What would you name if you had to come up? Like, if you had to come up for a name for each quote-unquote chapter, what would you name each one? Well, I guess for the other three, we'd have to know the content between the chapters. But like, what would you call episode Arden chapter? Just episode Arden, or?
You know, I haven't really thought about that one. So, what would we call it? But that one I could probably get started on. Once I've got source filmmaker down again. So, like episode Arden, what to call it?
Maybe something like the Curse of the Fallen King or something. I don't know, not a great name, but just something I pulled out of my ass.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably a really cheesy name, but one idea I have for the final one, Noctis. Do you think it should be called Dawn of the Future or something not cheesy?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay.
I mean, come on, most movies just start filming before they're even finished.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Like,
we hadn't even finished the story, and we already done that.
Yeah. Well, the work for Friday the 13th. But anyway, on to another movie. How about we talk about something somewhat topical, Sonic? How would you do a Sonic movie?
Oh.
Well, I know how I would do it. I have a much better idea how to do a Sonic movie than I do the other.
Before we get to the movie, let's say how to do a trailer, right?
We'd not do what they did. That's what we would do.
Yeah, obviously don't do that.
Yeah. That's like, look at the trailer they did and just do the exact opposite of everything they did in it.
Well, first off, it would be animated, not live action.
You stole the words right out of my mouth, god damn it. Why'd you steal that from me?
No, well, just I didn't even have to look at that trailer. It's like my eyes are screaming out in agony. Why are you making me look at this? Why?
Definitely be an animated movie, that's for certain. And I'd try not to overcomplicate it and whatnot. I would probably do just some sort of simple story about, oh, I don't know, Eggman's doing this or that again, but like and try to have some nice fun animation and just sort of make it like, I don't know, what's the best way to describe it? I just sort of do like, I don't know, like a good guy versus bad guy. He's facing off against some of his minions and whatnot. Includes some Sonic characters here or there, helping Sonic, and he wins in the end. That's my basic idea.
Mm,
What do you think?
so it can't be live action. It can't be set in the world of Sonic Boom. Okay, that was a terrible game. But the TV show was so good, though.
Um, uh,
Have you ever seen that one?
I've seen clips of the TV show, and yeah, they're pretty funny, but I haven't seen full-on episodes.
Oh, they're on YouTube, dude. You can find them.
I know, like I said, I've seen bits and pieces of it, and the bits and pieces of it are really
I mean, that
funny.
would use inspiration.
Yeah, maybe.
At the time, Eggman goes to war with a scarecrow that looks like Sonic.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. Maybe, yeah. But
And then when he
do you have
thinks
any?
he's finally killed him, he gives this whole speech. It's like, when I first met Sonic, I knew we were destined to be enemies. As I write this head full of hair. Whoa, how long ago did I write this? Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I gotta look up that clip. I liked the joke. I like the joke. What was it? Where like he's like was trying to steal something from a grocery store, and like he said last time he just threatened the guy, and he said that was me. I don't have a family anymore. So you're looking at a guy with nothing else to lose. So it's a funny dark joke. But God damn it! God damn it! I almost got in the goal. Sorry, I know that's off topic, but I don't know. I think that's more important.
Yeah, we just do this to give people something to watch.
Yeah. Trying to think. What about a Mario movie? What do you do for a Mario movie? Like that'd be pretty hard because
Well,
I don't
Super
know. I'm
Mario
thinking.
Brothers, let's not do that.
Well, like actually, someone have an idea for that because Super Mario, I'd It's funny because I think Super Mario it could work as a series of shorts. Like, how Sonic Mania has a bunch of shorts, like animated shorts of the characters doing funny stuff on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking we could do something like that, where it's animated and you have like Mario, Luigi, Peach, or whatnot, and each episode would be like really short, but they would all be animated and it would all be sort of this comedic sort of thing. You know what I mean?
So
Like
it'd be
Looney
kind of like
Tunes.
Ruby Chibi.
I guess if you want to take that, I was thinking more on the lines of like Looney Tunes shorts or Sonic Mania
Okay.
shorts, something like that.
Mm.
Or like they don't talk, but like they talk through action, sort of.
Okay.
What do you think of that idea?
Make good work. As soon as done correctly.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're basing all our ideas on.
Exactly. Anything can work when you execute it right.
Yeah.
I mean,
For the rest
Japan
of
is
the
evidence of that.
anyway, I really do. I'm really gonna stand by this. I really think, it could work. The whole bunch of shorts and starring Mario. Like, I really think it could work.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could work?
I believe it could.
Oh yeah. So, speaking of video game adaptations, this is perfect. I can't believe I didn't think of this beforehand. Cuphead is actually getting a Netflix TV show.
Oh, God.
They're promising that the same level of animation seen in the game will be in the show, which I highly doubt.
Same level of quality, though, I doubt.
So those should be interesting. How would you do a Cuphead TV show?
I wouldn't.
Why is that?
'Cause I know that's doomed. I mean, I wouldn't have any real creative freedom with it. If I had creative freedom total, maybe I'd try to make something work, but otherwise, no.
Fair enough.
I mean, I made sure to include that in the deal. Now, if you want me to do this, I need to have total creative freedom. There's no executive meddling. If I don't have that, find someone else.
I'd probably definitely at least get the guys that were involved with the game to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they are working on it. I have no idea.
Okay, so where are you now?
I'm signing back into the game. I got kicked because I left for 2 minutes, the bastards.
That's what happens when you piss off in the middle of a live game.
Sorry. Okay, I'm back in. Do you want me to send you an invite, or should I?
Yeah, let's do that.
Are there any other games you want to talk about being adapted into movies?
Well, I have some, though some you probably don't know about. So all the fun ones are gone. I suppose Bloodborne. How would you do that one?
Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne. It could work either as like I could see it working perfectly either as a movie or as a TV show if done right. I would probably probably do something that's very obviously Lovecraftian. I have to because it's like the game inspired by Lovecraft stuff. What else? But like I don't know. I do a game, maybe expand on some of the characters, expand on some of the lore. I think it could work pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
If it was movies, then I would make it a movie trilogy. If it was a TV show, then I do it a TV show and work from there.
Mm-hmm. So similar to how you do Sekiro, you think?
Probably,
or do you not know
yeah.
much about that one?
I don't know as much about Sekiro because I don't have it yet, but I want to get it. But based on what little I know about Sekiro, probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still trying to imagine how to have the Guardian Ape fight in a movie.
I can probably do it with the right CGI people.
Mm-hmm.
CGI people. I mean, you can probably do it with like the right budget and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, that fight, it's just the right blend of serious and hilarious. When you've got a boss that's literally throwing its shit at you. Oh.
I find it funny. Speaking of Sekiro, it's a little off topic, but I have to mention this. Top Hats and Champagne did a stream a while ago where he played the game, and going into it, he's like, "It's not a game I normally play," and he has to have a re-counter and whatnot on beside the stream every time he read at the weebiness. His words, not mine. But he ended up actually kind of liking it.
Mm-hmm.
There's that for character arc.
Yeah. But Sekiro does have a character arc. It's not that noticeable, but there is one there.
Can I just also say, this is completely off topic, but I have nowhere else to rant about this, so I have to rant about this. Is that okay?
You're gonna do it either way. Go on.
Never mind, I won't do it. Involves the Lion King live action remake. Should I not talk about it?
No, just go and do it.
Fine, I'm gonna say it. I was just, like, I thought we were talking about this stuff. I was like looking up other topics to talk about. I came across apparently a clip that was released of the Lion King movie, and like I don't have the sound on, so I don't know what's going on. But my God, is it so uncanny and just so there's no person next to very little personality to it. I'm just like, why would you remake it, The Lion King, like this? And why?
Well, they remake it for just nostalgia reasons and technology. Honestly, there's really no point to any of these Disney movies. I mean,
anyway,
they kind of remind you, kind of sort of what happened in the original animation, And at worst, they do what they did in Aladdin, where they try to add in this new story element or this new subplot or new scene that doesn't really go anywhere. And with
Well,
Aladdin,
that's
it's
another.
like they tried to make it too much for kids in a way the animation didn't even do.
Well, as much as I would love to talk about this, I want to stay somewhat on topic, so maybe we should save this for a future podcast. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, this is what I live with, people. He derails the topic and then he says, "Okay, let's get back on topic now, V."
Okay.
Sure,
Do you
let's
want to
do it.
stay on? Do you want to stay derailed? Do you want to stay derailed? Because we can stay derailed.
I'm falling back into old habits with this podcast. Fine, let's go back to the original topic.
No, fine. Let's stay derailed.
So don't take us off topic again. So let's go back.
Okay.
We were originally talking about Sekiro.
Right.
And how
Sekiro,
to do
Shadows
that
Die
movie?
Twice. Shit, I accidentally scored for the other team. Sekiro, like, here's the thing. I haven't played Sekiro yet because I don't have money right now. Poor. I'm living out of a jerk box, and don't have any money. I'm currently, I'm currently broke into a stranger's house to play Rocket League and to talk to you guys. So I have no money. I'll take money though. Seriously though, based on what I've heard, I'm sure Sekiro could work as a movie or a TV show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably would have to cut stuff, assuming they want to put it all in a single movie.
Well, undoubtedly, you have to make some things quicker.
And
And
there's
just
a
how
child
many?
in it.
Well, yeah, of course, the child.
There's a kid character in Sekiro, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Sekiro's
like,
master.
they'd have to work really, really hard and really try to get an actual child actor that can act. And no offense to child actors, like a lot of them, I'm sure work their asses off, and there's some really good ones out there. But most child actors can't act for shit. So you're gonna have to get a really.
This
really
one
good
talks in a
child
bit of a monotone anyway, so it'd be kind of easy.
I guess fair enough then. Yeah, fair enough then. If it already talks in a monotone voice, then I guess that would be pretty easy. I feel bad picking on kid actors because like they're kids, but and like they probably don't even want to do this. They're probably forced to do it by their parents or whatnot. But at the same time, it's just like a lot of kid actors are bad. But like there are some good kid actors who are slowly not becoming kids anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Joel Osment was a good kid actor when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a good adult actor. You know, Haley Joel Osment is probably one of the few. Never mind, I'm getting off topic again. I just realized we were talking about movies so much that we didn't talk about who we would cast in the film. We had the options.
Let's actually agree what movie's being made before we even get to that.
I guess you're right. Like, what would you do for a Sekiro movie, since you know more about it than I do?
That's still a lot I have to decide. I mean, how many Shinobi prosthetic tools I'd show, how many bosses I'd show, since some of them are optional, and even how to properly do the boss fights I would show. And what exactly I'd have to explain more of, because some things are left up to the player's own interpretation, or for the player to figure out themselves.
Yeah.
Like the sculptor, for example, not to spoil it too much, but he's an important character.
Okay. And it's not directly explained much, but he explained a lot in lore or through optional stuff. I'm assuming.
The sculptor's backstory is usually optional. It depends on how many side missions you do, and how much you interact with him.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
And he doesn't meet a very pleasant fate, so don't get too attached to him. But then again, it's almost like a From Software game. It's almost expected the NPCs don't meet a very pleasant fate. I mean, Crestfallen Warrior, everyone? Ever remember him?
I do. Anyway.
Yeah. He didn't meet the best fate either.
Oh, I scored again. Anyway. But I can't really say much about Sekiro because I haven't played it yet. But like, I feel bad saying other than I'm sure it can be done. or that sounds interesting because I haven't played it yet. I want to play it, I really do. It's just I don't have money right now. If it drops to $20 on Steam, then I will get it, but I highly doubt that's happening anytime soon.
You never know. Or maybe you can find it on G2A, even with the recent scandal they got in.
Still don't entirely understand that scandal, but
No,
I'll
you
have
don't
to look
have
more
to.
into that. Anyway, all I know is that they bought websites to try to give them positive reviews. That's all I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty dummy.
Sounds typical G2A for me.
Fair enough. So,
There's quite a few of them. I just wanted to tell me of these damn things you played. So this list we have. Stanley Parable, have you played that one? Please tell me you played that one.
yeah, I've played the Stanley Parable. It's been forever since
Okay,
I
so
have.
how'd you
But
do
yeah, I
that
have
one?
played it. I don't know if I would do it. I think it only really works as a game and stuff. Or if I were to do it, I would just release it as like I don't know. Like Netflix did this thing a while ago where they released a bunch of interactive stories for kids and a few for adults. Well, not just for fun. So maybe if I were to do it, I would do it like that. But even then, it's like there's a lot of hidden choices in a Stanley
Mm-hmm.
Parable that's like kind of up for the player to find and figure out. You don't really get that aha moment when you have it
Mm-hmm.
presented to you. So I don't know if I had to do it, I would do it something like Netflix style, how they did their interactive show, where I would bring it
Mm-hmm.
up where on screen there would be a timer and you'd have to choose one or the other. But um, uh,
Mm-hmm.
if I wasn't forced to make it, then I think I would just keep it as is.
Alright, then how about Symphony of the Night?
Symphony of the Night, that I'm not sure of. What do you think? 'Cause
Mm. Well, we've seen proof that 3D Metroidvanias can be done, but how to do it as a movie. I mean, that I'm not entirely
yeah,
clear on yet. That'd be certainly
yeah.
a challenge, though.
Symphony of the Night is something I'll have to think on my own time because that I'm not sure of.
Have you ever
Um,
played that
uh,
one?
like I want to play Symphony of the Night, but like I haven't actually played it. But I do know a lot about it.
Well, I can get you an emulated version. That's easy.
Well, that would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like I got you Secret of Mana and
Yeah,
Earthbound. Remember that one?
yeah. He's pretty good. Not Papa. DolphinVi's pretty good at getting me some old emulated games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I'm trying to think. Is there any other things you want to talk about? Any other games you want to talk about that you could possibly turn into movies?
Well, there's a few, but you probably don't know of them. That's the problem. In fact, just on a good note, Honey Pop.
Okay. How would you do it?
Well, have you actually played that one?
I've not played Honey Pop. I feel bad. I need to play. Maybe I should play a bunch of new games I haven't played before, so I can or at least do research on them. I know of Honey Pop. I have
Okay,
just
then Dark Souls. Please tell me you played that one, at the very least.
yes, I have played Dark Souls. I'm not great at Dark Souls, but I have played it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
um,
So what do you mean that one?
I would like. I keep on going back to the TV show, but I would almost like. I don't know. I would almost do a film where I think there is very little dialogue and most of it's told through the environment or whatnot. At least, like that's what I would do. What do you think?
Where most of it's told through the environment, there's no dialogue, so you'd almost like have it a silent movie.
Yeah, it could be like there's a lot of sort of like that. Not entirely silent. Like you would talk to NPC, talk to characters from here or there, and maybe even the main guy would have a voice. But other than that, it would be mostly a silent film and whatnot, and a lot of it would be the environment and whatnot. I don't know if it would be a good movie, but well, that's how I would do it. Either that, or I would fill out. Either that, or I would really fill out the characters and other things and make it more cinematic, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would answer questions people don't want answers to. Is what I would do.
Until the
Or at least
developers say so, there really isn't an answer to it.
fair enough.
I mean, we still don't know how Ornstein survived. Supposedly he did. The developers won't say so.
Well, yeah, stuff like that. I'd probably, maybe not that, but I'd definitely have to answer some things that are left ambiguous.
Hmm.
What about you? Would you even attempt a Dark Souls movie?
I could definitely attempt it. I would indeed wonder what ending to go with, though.
No, maybe instead of a full-on film, maybe a Dark Souls short film could work. Or a short film set in the Dark Souls universe.
A series of short films that could work.
Yeah. And I don't know, they could tell if you want, they could tell stories that adapt parts of the game, or they could just tell completely original stories that are set in the Dark Souls universe.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
So, after this game, do you want to quit, or do you want to keep going?
Well, after this game, we can discuss the news of the day. So there's definitely a big news that was dropped today, unless you're living under a rock.
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to talk about that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, the Switch just switched things up. It's now smaller.
Yes, the Nintendo Switch Mini. I think that's what it's called. Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
what it's called. Do you want me to explain it, or
Sure.
or do you want to explain it? Okay. Basically, well, I'm not gonna explain it in great detail because I'm sure you guys already know. But basically, the smaller version of the Switch, that has better battery life, but doesn't connect to the TV and doesn't have any motion controls or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure not too many people are talking about that.
Yeah, but now we won't be able to play 1-2 Switch on the Switch Mini. Don't you understand how important 1-2 Switch is to the
You are just gonna milk that game for all it's worth, aren't you?
I mean, if as long as Nintendo continues to acknowledge that it exists, I'll continue to milk it. Especially the others I'll especially continue to milk the others that are in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1-2 Switch, the greatest game that no one cares about.
Supposedly works really well.
Yeah. But seriously, what are your thoughts on this? I'm not surprised we got this announcement. I'm just surprised we heard about it now. I would have thought we would have heard about this like maybe sometime in 2020, but no, we're hearing about it now in 2019. It's coming relatively soon. It's coming in September 20th, if I remember correctly.
Yep, and for only $200.
$200, pretty not bad price range.
Yep,
What are your
it's
thoughts?
cheaper and it supposedly has better battery life.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's not powering two controllers.
Yeah. The downside is though you can't connect to the TV. It's an exclusively handheld machine.
I don't mind about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have a TV in my home anymore. Give me a computer internet connection, I'm fine.
Fair enough.
I mean, my entire Switch dock, I mainly use it just to charge it.
Fair enough. I mostly use the Switch for handheld, but occasionally I like to plug it into the TV just for that extra bit of power, you know?
Yeah, but they don't look as good on the TV, I found.
Really?
Well, not good in the monitor.
Okay.
That's why I use.
So, like, what are your thoughts on this? Are you surprised that this is announced this soon? Because I know this was rumored for quite a while, and I believe the rumor. But I didn't think it would be announced until, like, maybe the beginning of next year. And what did you think? Are you surprised that it was announced, this soon, or makes sense?
Not really. For me, it makes sense for Nintendo to start making new versions of the Switch as soon as they can.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because remember, the new generation consoles are coming out.
Yeah.
And
generation
considering
is-
that the vast majority of games on the Switch are ports, which is a strong suit, the Nintendo Switch needs to have stronger hardware in it so that the games can be ported over more easy.
Yeah, but isn't the Switch Mini like a weaker version? Although there are rumors that a Switch Pro might be in the works.
Well, of course there's going to be a Switch Pro in the works. It's like I just said, with so many of the Switch's best games being ports, I mean, yeah, there's going to be a visual pair back, there's going to be a frame rate cut, but it's going to be the same game.
I'm just interested.
But if now there's the PS5 and the Xbox 2, Scorpio, whatever, well, the games are going to be a lot more powerful and hard to port over unless the Switch gets stronger.
I'm just surprised they introduced a mini version before the Pro version. Maybe it's just because the Pro version isn't ready yet.
Mm.
What do you think? Why do you think they announced the mini thing before the Pro version?
I don't know, but when it looks like there's no sense, there's usually sense to be made.
Yeah.
So probably a reason for it.
Yeah.
I'd say probably the reason for it's to, I guess, get kids more into it.
Maybe, or maybe
you know,
just to provide
something kids are far less like to lose the Joy-Cons for.
Maybe, or maybe it's just to provide a cheaper option.
Yeah,
for,
and also to get a better battery life. And it's parents have more incentive to buy it 'cause it's cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Nintendo doesn't show any kids in the commercials, but you know what the teenagers and adults go for, the kids will go for too.
Yeah.
So I can
Like,
see that.
this isn't exactly necessarily new for Nintendo. Like, they did the 2DS for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is like basically like the 3DS but with less options, and it's a little bit more cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. Like, what do you think though? Do you think you're gonna get it at one point, or you still wanna wait on it and whatnot?
I don't think I'll get the mini, but I'll definitely get the Pro.
Yeah.
So I can get
Yeah,
those ports from the PS5 and the Xbox, or whatever. I don't remember the name, but Scarlet, was it?
I'm just like, yeah, Xbox Scarlet, but I somewhat jokingly, kind of unironically, call it the Xbox 2 until I'm just gonna call it the Xbox 2 until it gets an official name, just because I just think the idea of it calling it the Xbox 2 is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Next, it's crazy to think that next gen is coming up very, very soon. It's next year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Crazy to think that we now have Doom and Wolfenstein playing on basically a tablet.
Yeah. But when there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hopefully Bloodstained Ritual and Night will play better on the Switch Pro when it comes out.
Hopefully it'll play better before that, because I'm hearing rumors that they're working
Yeah.
on updating it and fixing it.
Yeah. And also, hopefully, is what I'm hoping for, the Switch Pro will have a D-pad. That would be a serious plus.
Yeah, I can get that. I don't mind the lack of D-pad, but I get why
No,
people want a D-pad.
Apparently there is an extra Joy-Con you can buy from like $22 that does have a D-pad on it.
Holy crap, that's like really cheap for a Joy-Con. What's the catch? Like,
It's made by a Nintendo licensed company.
Oh, that makes sense. I was like, Jesus, that's like really cheap for a Joy-Con. Like, normally they like $60-70.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wonder, what do I wonder? I don't know what I wonder. Oh yeah, it'll be certainly interesting to see, like, either way, I wonder, like, what sort of thing. I wonder if there's gonna be any other gimmicks with the Switch Pro, or if it's just gonna be, like, just a more powerful version of the regular Switch.
If that's all we got, I'd be fine with it.
I'd probably be fine with it too. I'm just curious, because, like, never know with Nintendo. Sometimes like innovating a lot, just in weird ways, or sometimes good ways, and other times they take you by surprise.
As long as they get the name right, whatever they call it. Yes, we don't need another Wii U incident, Nintendo. I hope you've learned from that.
said a bad Wii U joke, but then I stopped myself because I knew it was bad. So you're welcome, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I said I almost said a bad Wii U joke, but then I stopped myself when I realized it wasn't funny in the slightest.
Well, knowing you're not funny is the first step. Means like I know I'm not funny.
You're funnier than me.
Well, I have my moments, but I'm not that good at it.
I like to think I have my moments, but you have more moments than I do.
It's awkward. I find I'm most funny when I'm actually trying to be incredibly serious.
I'm sort of like that too, to a degree. I'm best when I steal other people's jokes, because sometimes I'll just steal
So on that, is
people's
there any
jokes.
games you can think of to do in that style? Like a
What?
serious comedy?
Um, uh, Sorta. I
Yeah.
actually do sort of have. I actually sort of have been having an idea rolling around my head for a while, but I don't know exactly how to do it. Like I've had this idea for a while in my head of doing like a semi-joke serious review of Minecraft story mode, and say how it's the most important game of a generation, and it will pave the way for future games going ahead. Like hack developers like CD Projekt Red making bad shitty games like The Glitcher 3 you clearly need to learn from the former masters at Telltale or something like that.
Yeah. So figuring out what I've got for Dirge of Cerberus, basically. I mean, there's a couple of the boss battles in that game where I used that kind of review style.
Sounds interesting. I'm looking forward
But it's
to
like,
it.
you will not believe how much effort and time I had to put into defeating this boss. And it's just me shooting my gun while the guy stands still. And that was on hard mode.
Can't wonder what it's like on easy mode.
Mm.
Probably even easier than that, Papa G.
I think there's only really one boss that was truly challenging. And then directly after that boss, she committed suicide. Which I would say describes the game really well. It has one high point and then it just dies.
Yeah. With Minecraft
So I
story
guess
mode,
there you go. Dirge of Cerberus movie.
Well, I haven't played Dirge of Cerberus, so I can't comment that, but I'm sure it's very
Dirge of Cerberus actually done right.
Maybe a Minecraft story mode movie. I'm sure that'll get the big bucks.
No.
It's funny with me, Minecraft story mode has sort of become a meme for me recently. I don't know why. Maybe just because it exists. They actually got Minecraft YouTubers to cameo in it, which I find kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a big actor Patton Oswalt to do it. I don't know. If you don't do it, then I probably have to make a joke review of Minecraft story mode where I say how it's the greatest thing ever and whatnot.
I mean, I could do a was it really that bad review on it.
Maybe I'll start writing. I'll definitely start writing the script out for it soon, but I don't know if anything will come of it. I'll have to see.
I mean, I played the first episode and then interest kind of died out.
I don't know. I just find it funny that something like that exists and whatnot, and I don't know if you find it sad or funny, but it's one of the few games that actually did well over at Telltale because most of their games didn't do that well. They're critically well received, but
it's just it's so telltale-y that it kind of kills any love I would have for any sequels going forward.
Well, everything's so telltale-ian and whatnot.
And there's this one scene where I think the obvious bad guy of the first episode does something incredibly horrific and nearly dooms the world, and then he gets mad at you for getting in his way. You can choose to basically bitch slap him, and then you get the bad guy will remember that, implying he's going to be important later. It's like, why do I care if the bad guy's going to remember that? Look what he just did.
One thing I find funny, is that the Telltale formula and problem with actually pretty well aware over at Telltale. Like, they did it because the CEO, at least one of the former CEOs, like was convinced they had found a formula. So they're like, make every game we make from now on in this style. Okay, we have to do it. And like they were under this idea that if they put out more content, more and more episodes, then that'll translate into more money.
Mm-hmm. So Telltale was killed by bad leadership.
Yeah. I think it was Kevin Bruner that
Mm-hmm.
they're starting after Kevin Bruner left and they got a new CEO. Things are starting to turn around and whatnot, and they were finally starting to address certain issues. By that point, it was kind of too little, too late.
Mm-hmm. And so, what to do? And you say you want to do Minecraft story mode as a movie? Okay.
That was a joke. I wasn't being serious.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, then that we get down to two possibilities of what the movie could be: Dawn of the Future movie or Dirge of Cerberus done right movie.
Okay.
So it's one of those two. Which one could it be?
I guess Dawn of the Future movie, or I don't know. I guess you know what? I'll say Dirge of Cerberus done right, just because we'll have the book, but like Dirge of Cerberus is bad as is, so like to do it right would be more interesting. Because I don't know. To me, me personally, I find the idea of remaking something that was bad in the first place to try to make it good is more interesting to me. But it's so rarely ever done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a bad game, but it could possibly be a good movie. Especially when the bulletproof soldiers are introduced, then the game really gets into dick levels.
That sounds pretty obnoxious.
Hmm.
Well, is it as obnoxious as it sounds?
Well, it's not that they introduce bulletproof soldiers. You can melee them, you can magic them. It's how the game introduces them. More than not. I mean, set the scene for you. You see a military commander first. Then you see the bulletproof soldiers. Vincent shoots them, and they reveal they're bulletproof. You see the commander again. Then you see the bulletproof soldiers going, "Hail, Vice." How do you think you beat the bulletproof soldiers based on what I've just told you?
You attack them with swords?
This is Vincent Valentine, and have swords.
I don't know. You punish them a bunch, you kick them, I don't know.
Well, you can either A, kill the commander first, and then you can kill the bulletproof soldiers with bullets, or B, the commander doesn't matter. You can just melee the bulletproof soldiers to death and then kill him. Which one do you think? Which one do you think is right?
You kill the commander first.
I don't blame you for thinking that.
Well, I only.
That's what I thought as well.
Well, I just said that just because it would make less sense than the alternative.
Well, exactly. That's why I thought A was true. It wasn't.
Do you want to exit this match and close out the podcast? Or do you want to do one more?
No, I think we got enough. So we're making so this time we are going to try and make a Dirge of Cerberus movie.
Okay.
So back to my tutorials for Source Filmmaker, see if I can make a trailer for it. Yeah. Dirge of Cerberus, finally done right.
Keep an eye out for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And we can meet again to discuss more movies to make.
Yes.
Well, we can have an entire schedule going.
Yep. It was great talking to you guys, and remember, no matter what script you make, it cannot be worse than the lead Shadow of the Colossus script. So, go out there.
Dad, don't challenge them.
What?
Never challenge them. Don't.
To make a worse. I didn't challenge them to make a worse script. I challenged them to make. I challenged them to make a better version of it.
Yeah. Well, you just said it could never be worse than that. I mean, I used to think no worse comic book can be made than Secret Empire. But then Ta-Nehisi Coates came along and said, "Hold my beer."
Well, on that note, make a worse script of Shadow of the Colossus. I dare you. And I don't think it can be done, so prove me wrong. Bye.
Bye.